KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Tano Program. Cars Plus, home of Guam's first and only lifetime limited powertrain warranty. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Tonight on Prime Time, this morning the island recorded its 21st death connected to COVID-19. Plus, the governor announces that Guam will remain in pandemic condition of readiness level 1, and the stay-at-home order will continue for at least another week. And a new digital contact tracing app has been launched, hoping to stop the spread of coronavirus. Good evening, everyone, and Hafa, I'm Jason Salas. Tragedy begins our newscast once again as early this morning our island recorded another COVID-related fatality. She was a 74-year-old woman who was admitted to the Guam Memorial Hospital on August 25th. She was a patient with comorbidities that were compounded by COVID-19. She passed away at GMH just after midnight. She is the 21st death connected to coronavirus. As for hospitalizations at the Guam Memorial Hospital, there are 51 COVID patients, 12 of whom are in this ICU and 10 on ventilators. Guam's current COVID case count is 1,758 island residents who have been infected with coronavirus. Well, Guam will remain in pandemic condition of readiness level 1, and the stay-at-home order will continue for a week at least. Governor Luli Onguro announced that extension at a press conference today, saying even though the infection rate has plateaued, it has not declined to a level that will allow the island's healthcare system to fully recover.
If our numbers don't change, I'm afraid we will reach a point where our hospital is so full of COVID patients that we may not have room to treat any other ailment. And doctors may be forced to choose who should be treated because we lack the resources to do so.
The stay-at-home order in effect for the last 3 weeks will continue through noon on September the 18th. Well, the Governor's Physicians Advisory Group is working on changing the 4 triggers to make the decision to move from PCOR 1 to Pandemic Condition of Readiness 2. Here's group member Dr. Felix Cabrera.
I think it's pretty clear when you start looking at the triggers that we had placed from the past that we haven't met that to go into PCOR 2.
Yeah.
And so, but you know, it's not as simple as just saying, okay, are we going to stay in PCOR 1? It's more, you know, we want a more surgical approach to this in terms of, you know, if there's going to be a change, we may still stay in PCOR 1, but what are the different changes that may happen within that? And so I think that's important, and we're, you know, we're focusing on, you know, there's been discussions about low risk versus high risk, you know, services and how we might want to, you know, splice that out and have a different level. So that's being worked on.
Currently, the 4 triggers are 1, having a downward trend of positive cases, 2, being able to treat all hospitalizations, 3, being able to test all people with COVID symptoms, and 4, public health must have the capacity to conduct adequate contact tracing. Speaking of public health, that agency is turning to technology for help in the COVID pandemic, as officials announced today the launch of a new digital contact tracing app that can be used to slow the spread of the virus. Nestor Locanto reports.
The app uses COVID contact tracing technology developed by tech giants Apple and Google. Local computer coders work with a nonprofit PathCheck Foundation, led by former MIT professor Ramesh Raskar, in developing the Guam app. Basically, it can let you know through your smartphone if you were exposed to someone who tested positive. But officials say the key to the app's success is for as many people as possible to download it. They cite an Oxford University study which showed that for every 100 to 200 who use the app, 100 infections are prevented. UOG computer fellow Vince Munoz, who worked on the local project, says Google also did a study showing the adoption rate is critical.
What Google found was the first 7 to 14 days was when the adoption of the app took place, and after that it flattened out. What that meant is that nobody was adopting the app, but more important, that the key to success is our marketing outreach efforts in the community. In our meeting with Google, they emphasized this so much that they recommended that we not launch if our marketing and outreach plan was not ready.
Guam is the first territory to use the app, and so far there are only 6 states. Their adoption rates average less than 40%, but the target rate is 60%. Officials acknowledge that privacy concerns are slowing acceptance, but they reassure that the app won't track location or share identities and uses widely accepted random number security.
We went through a very rigorous testing to make sure that privacy was protected. There is no information regarding your contact info that is shared. If we don't trust each other and we don't make an effort to try and do something about this, then the whole point of this technology is to try and manage the quarantining. Because if we're not able to do this, then we have no choice. It's going to increase, it's going to spread, and we have no choice but to do lockdown.
The Guam COVID Alert mobile app is available for download from the App Store and Google Play. For more information, visit guamcovidalert.guam.gov. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
All right, Nestor, thanks so much for that report. Elsewhere, 7 more Guam Department of Education staffers have tested positive for COVID-19. A pair of new cases were identified at GDOE's offices in Tidin, 1 from Tamuning Elementary and 4 from FB Leongro Middle School up in Jigo. All 7 cases were identified by way of contract tracing. More than 40 GDOE staffers have been infected since the onset of the pandemic. Well, another firefighter assigned to the Tamuning Fire Station has tested positive for coronavirus, with the testing conducted after a firefighter there tested positive last week. A total of 8 from Tamuning Fire Station were tested, the rest being negative. A total of 11 station personnel assigned to the Dededo Fire Station were also tested because one of their brothers was tested positive last week. All 11 from Dededo tested negative. Same government, different agency as a 7th employee from the Port Authority of Guam has tested positive, as according to a press release through the port contact tracing team, 10 additional employees were identified as close contacts and will all be tested by public health. Meanwhile, the port received the results from the employees exposed in the 6th COVID-19 case at the port, and all 4 of those staffers did test negative. Well, we are doing well. That's the word from the School Sisters of Notre Dame Province liaison, Sister Mary Francine Perez, because as we reported last week, 2 nuns from the convent did test positive. An update from Sister Francine says everyone in the convent has now been tested, with all of them now testing negative. They continue to practice social distancing, mask wearing, and frequent hand washing. Sister Francine added, and I quote, "We would like to express our deep gratitude for your loving concern and prayerful support. We are most grateful and want you to know you are remembered in our daily prayers." In other island news tonight, long lines at the Guam main facility over in Barrigada have residents running short on patients. Picking up a package from the post office during the COVID pandemic, for some, has become an all-day affair. KUAM's Peter Santos has this report.
Disabled veteran Joe Kittichai didn't even bother lining up at the Barrigada post office today. The retired Marine said he took one look at the line and the number of people in it and said, "No thanks," leaving empty-handed. This isn't the first time this month Mr. Kittichai has come to GMF to pick up an important package.
Medical supplies. You know, I'm a 100% disabled vet, and I get my supplies from VA, and I haven't had it in a month, and I'm completely out. So that's not good, especially for my, I have underlying conditions. A lot of veterans that are elderly and everything are in need of their medication, and we're just not getting it.
COVID-19 safety protocols are the cause of long lines at GMF. As you can see here, the parcel pickup line starts outside and runs into the building, working its way through all of the post office's little hallways. Kittichai says although he understands the need for safety protocols, he doesn't think social distancing is possible inside GMF because of the tight floor plan. People we talked to had been waiting a long time, some for an hour and a half, some for 2 hours. Some, like 69-year-old Yolanda Beardsley, waiting as long as 3 hours, even spending 45 minutes standing in line outside in the hot sun.
I figured it'll take long, but not this long.
Beardsley saying the long lines are causing short tempers for postal patrons.
Maybe they can have a line for seniors from certain time to certain time, like, Payless does, they have. Or maybe they can have someone outside to tell you where to go. People are arguing inside here. They don't know which line to go to. They don't know which line is for what. Why can't they just have someone out here to tell you this line is for that, this line is for this? And instead of people arguing on here, it's just not right. That's not right.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
All right, thanks so much, Peter. He also adds that we did reach out to Guam Postmaster General Tammy Shonen, but we've been unable to get a comment on the matter. Elsewhere tonight in Vegas, he was ready to go for his latest fight in the UFC, but popular local fighter Frank the Crank Camacho is now fighting an entirely different battle.
Yeah, I had a fight against a guy that's willing to take my head off, literally, on Saturday. But now I have a fight that could potentially, take my life.
Coming off his training camp in California and ready to step into the cage this weekend, Frank the Crank Camacho got the news today.
This morning, upon arrival to the UFC hotel here in Vegas, it's a protocol that you get tested immediately, and then you have to quarantine in your hotel room for a day. I got a call this morning that I tested positive for COVID.
According to Camacho, he took a second test, and again, it returned positive.
It's such a bummer, the virus really just doesn't discriminate.
While he's out of the cage this go-round, he's ready to face off against COVID.
Just another fight that I gotta address, and I gotta like any other fight that I prepare for. I just gotta do my best to prepare and combat it. And the best I can do is try to stay as healthy as possible, get the most amount of rest, hydrate, and take my vitamins, and most importantly, I think just stay positive and stay strong.
The news of his cancellation comes on the heels of another Guam fighter, Rocky Martinez, being called up to fight in the big leagues.
He's going to do really well. If there's, I know firsthand that Rocky's one of the hardest workers that I've ever trained with. He is way more than deserved, and it's if anything, it's a very well earned opportunity for him.
Definitely.
He paid it in full, and he's going to be paying, and he's going to be reaping the rewards.
Martinez landed in Vegas today. Camacho didn't get a chance to see him, but instead made his way back to California to isolate.
We get thrown curveballs all the time, right? There's so much other people that are suffering way more than I am, and when it comes to especially to COVID, so I'm just really blessed to have a really solid, awesome community back home, and an awesome family. You know what I mean? That's constantly sending support and sending awesome messages.
In 10 days, Camacho could have another shot.
All goes well, perfect world. The UFC will have me booked for another fight ASAP.
Please stay tuned. Primetime will continue right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
We give most of our waking hours to preserve yours. When we're in it, nothing exists but you and the person that needs your help. It can be difficult at times. You can't help but take the weight of what you've seen home with you. There are days or nights that I need to leave it all behind, to let it go in the wind. But I'll always come back. I am a first responder, and I have given my life to this.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
Social distancing may be the new norm. But connection will always be our tradition. Through good times and tough times, we remain connected with you. Masks may be the new fashion, but protection will always be our style. You can always count on us to protect the things that matter the most. Sanitizing may be the new routine, but caring will always be our practice. We care about your loved ones and the things you value the most. And as we welcome our new normal, one thing remains certain: we will always be here for you. We're open and ready to serve you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
With Grand Marnier, you'll dare to put a twist on the traditional. That will lead you to somewhere unexpected. Somewhere you can create something better than good. Here, you'll create something grand. Grand Marnier, a visionary blend of fine cognac and bitter orange liqueur. Live grand.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back, my friends, to Primetime. $22 million in additional unemployment assistance for Guam has been approved by FEMA. The Department of Labor says under the Trump administration's Lost Wages Assistance Program, about 25,000 qualified applicants will receive an added $400 a week for 3 weeks' time.
They're still working out all the details and the information. I think all we have to do is keep asking for approval for the additional weeks. But yes, we have $22.5 million additional dollars going to be going out to our claimants as soon as the money gets loaded, and we manage to figure out how to program it into our KUA software system.
That, of course, Agency Director Dave Della Sola, who says the biggest difference between FPUC and the Lost Wages Assistance Program is that any of the weeks the claimants filed after July 27th have to make at least $100 of PUA to qualify for this additional $300 to $400. Also tonight, the U.S. Interior Department announced that $65 million in Section 30 funds, the annual rebate of taxes collected from federal employees on Guam, is on its way. Under changes made to the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act, a portion of the money is set aside to pay war claims. Speaker Tina Mooney-Barnes called on Congressman Michael St. Nicholas to introduce legislation to reopen the filing period for claims. She says $20 million has already been paid to 80% of claimants, but another $30 million remains with the Treasury Department. Earlier this year, she submitted a petition from 700 survivors and descendants supporting a new filing period. The Agana pool, in other news, is broken and cannot be fixed. GITA Deputy Director Joanne Camacho testified at Parks and Rec's Oversight hearing Wednesday night, saying the decades-old facility is no longer worth fixing and a new one may have to be built somewhere else.
Because it's sinking. It's no different than what's happening with the Bank Hawaii building. It's not built in the right area. But yes, we've been using it. Yes, we've been maintaining it and fixing it and maintaining it and fixing it. But the study shows, and we have it available, that it's not worth going in and keeping it maintained.
However, the heavily used Dedido swimming pool here and right up the street from us is also closed and in need of repair. And swimming groups have no other choice but to seek access from private facilities.
I'm committed, and I mentioned this to Mr. Ching, to working with DPW and working with the hoteliers and maybe even St. John's has a pool. There's other hotels or properties that have a pool, in using their pool in the meantime while we're trying to rehabilitate Dedido and also possibly build a new pool.
GITA and Public Works are part of a recently formed task force looking at a long-term plan for the construction and maintenance of public pool facilities. Well, with schools shut down under PCOR 1 and distance learning becoming the new norm, students are glued to their digital devices more than ever before. And although this does help contain COVID, Harvest Christian Academy Administrator Jeremy Zeistik says there's another issue parents are raising concerns about.
Screen time fatigue. If you remember not too long ago, parents were worried about screen time and obesity and being inactive.
Parents have reported that many students can consume approximately 6 hours of screen time when it does come to distance learning. And according to Zychek, they are currently working on creating a schedule that progresses not only educationally, but also balances the social as well as physical elements of a proper education.
You have to remember, all the kids in the classroom are not identical. They all have different needs. They all learn a little bit differently. And that's why we have professional educators, so they can do that. It's a little more challenging online, but I'm so grateful for the teachers that invest their lives in this.
Staying with Guam's private schools, the Catholic programs are also experiencing screen time fatigue. As Superintendent Dr. Juan Flores says, the majority of his students have expressed wanting to return to face-to-face contact. But with PCOR 1 still in effect, teachers have continued to go above and beyond for their beloved pupils.
There are teachers in some of our schools who should be doing the professional development on distance learning, because they're doing some fantastic things, most things that I have never been aware of.
Right.
But they went on their own this summer and they joined seminars and they did professional development.
Dr. Flores says although online learning is not the most ideal format, teachers and administrators alike are doing what's most effective under the current conditions to continue to bring education to the Catholic school community. Well, coming up after the break, as part of our weekly segment, Network of Nurses on the Link, we introduce you to a clinical nurse from the Guam Memorial Hospital.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
When you want to make the most of your time, waiting in line should be last on your mind. Introducing Skip Lino, the most convenient way to visit Docomo Pacific. Simply download the Skip Lino app on your device, set your region to Guam or Northern Mariana Islands, find Docomo Pacific, and select the location you'd like to visit. Spend less time in line and more time with the people who matter most with the Skip Lino app. Can't wait to see you soon. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Our island is a gift that we have shared with the world. But in the stillness of today, our island is asking everyone to give us a moment. To be with our family, Ifamagonte, our children, our grandchildren, Itanota, our land, our thoughts, to be creative. Panhongi, to have faith. To be with the things we know and the things you've come to love. Give us a moment. And we will share one together soon.
Primetime continues, and every Thursday on The Link, our feature Network of Nurses shows. And today, our Chris Barnett spoke with Paula Menzan, a clinical nurse technician at the Guam Memorial Hospital.
Clinical nurse informatics supervisor here at Guam Memorial Hospital. That particular position is fairly new here on the island. I'm also a registered nurse, and I'm certified in nursing informatics. So that's my title here. It's basically a nurse that's connected with the IT department, but also has a background on nursing per se. So I bring those two worlds together, and then we play a critical role in patient care by providing all of the technologies needed for all of our clinicians on the floor. That's basically what nursing informatics is.
Right, and so when we talked about this, you're responsible for the electronic health records, and you make sure that the right information from the right patients goes into this so that the doctors can make the right call when providing acute, critical, and traditional care at the hospital, right?
That's absolutely right. And it's just not me, but there's a whole team from IT and then the clinical side as well. And the ancillary side, all of our respiratory therapists, all of these people contribute to this one project that we have currently for the electronic health record.
Right, and so that's where your nursing background comes in, because you're just not inputting data, right? You have to have that understanding of what the data and that information means to patients and doctors.
Yes, definitely. So I've worked on the floor for about 4 years. I'm a graduate of the University of Guam. So basically, if we needed an equipment or a technology equipment on the floor, you need to understand how to use it. And as a nurse, I would say, oh, that doesn't work that way. This is how the nurse would use that particular machine, per se, yeah.
And so we talked about what your duties have kind of shifted to recently with the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. And I thought it was really interesting because in a lot of ways, well, I guess not even in a lot of ways, but you are connecting patients who are fighting COVID-19 who aren't able to see their family members because of how contagious and insidious this virus is. You're connecting them with those family members through the use of technology.
Yep. So in the first wave, we were actually seeking out to purchase tablets. And you know what? There's so many people in this community are so giving. Businesses on all sides, IT&E, GTA, am I forgetting something? Docomo have all given us tablets to use. And then on the second wave, even more so now, we have more patients in the hospital. So we placed iPads inside of each and every room. And then we connected one to the iPad in the nurse's station. So whenever we needed to call the patient or the patient needed to call the nurse's station, they can have video conferencing, and that reduces exposure for our staff needing to go in there for just one thing or multiple things.
Right.
And also we plan to do things like stream masses, because it's really, when I was setting up those iPads in those rooms, it's really, really isolating, and it's very sad. But we wanted to make sure we can do that for each of the patients, and it's really helped out. Even with clinician to clinician, we're using Zoom now via tablet, so we can communicate better as a team. Our management is using Zoom and those capabilities as well.
Our YouTube channel is, of course, as always, KUAM News, and you can find that full interview as well as all of our videos there. Please do stay tuned, because coming up next, your Cold Stone Creamery birthday shoutouts.
MTO Maintenance will now completely sanitize your home, office, or business with state-of-the-art commercial sprayers. For over 30 years, MTO Maintenance has been committed to the health and safety of our customers. And now, more than ever, a clean home, office, carpets, and furniture is a necessity to our island. Give us a call today. Stay healthy and stay safe, Guam.
Call 647-6861 for an appointment. Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
And now what you've been waiting for, your birthday shout-outs courtesy of Cold Stone Creamery. Happy birthday on Thursday, September the 10th to Kenneth the Tao Tao. Happy birthday, Brother Ken. Have a great day. Love your familia. They really appreciate you. Rokin John Shanko. Happy blessed birthday to you. We love you so much and are blessed to have you in our lives. We hope you have a wonderful day with many more to come your way. Love, hugs, and kisses from your whole family. Awesome. Happy birthday number 18. That's a lot of candles, 18. Congratulations to Robin Tyron from Mom, Dad, and the family. Happy birthday to the ever-young Mario S. Ponce de Leon. Happy birthday to Super Mario. Lots of love and kisses from your wife, Alan, sons Lucas and Marco, and your entire iConnect family. May you find the fountain of youth. Annie Lou Leon Guerrero Libby Kinier. Happy birthday number 15 in Oklahoma. Your Guahan, Geso, and Kushrayan familia miss you and wish you all the best on your special day, sweetie. Hey, enjoy your Annie Lou Day. Viva cumpleaños, they say, and they use not one, but two heart emoji. You know, like the one with like the little star on the corner? Yeah, that's a special one. They use two of those, and then the birthday cake emoji. Awesome. Great group of people, great group of birthday celebrants, and a great day to have a birthday. All right, everybody, the fight against coronavirus continues. So remember, as always, please stay socially distant from everybody else. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, and go and download the app. It's going to help save lives. It's going to help in our fight as a community, as one family. It's at guamcovidalert.guam.gov. Please install it on your phone, everybody. Thank you so much for keeping up the fight. We can do this together, and we will. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Local Music Mashup is brought to you by Burger King. Be your way.
Happy Thursday, Guam, and welcome to our second installation of Local